Dana Loesch is, as you know, is a paid representative for the NRA. She has been commissioned to make, among other things, a series of very disturbing, dark commercials. She talks about the where the NRA has moved from that sportsman organization to defending America from the dirty, disgusting liberal leftists. And here she is on Fox and Friends, and sometimes these guys they stay out of their lane, don't they? Here we go.
Despite those failures, the NRA right now is being seen as the bad guy in this situation. In fact, the Connecticut governor just called you a terrorist organization. Take a look at this.
The NRA as it exists today is a far cry from the NRA that in 1999 said teachers shouldn't carry weapons in schools, or in the 90s also said that we should have universal background checks. They have in essence become a terrorist organization.
So are you a terrorist?
I mean, I'm a mom. I have kids. I mean, we're dealing with homework issues late last night.
Pause it for one second. I just want to tell you that I don't know why she's being so evasive. We know for a fact that that terrorists can get married and have children. I mean, we know it just from, what was that attack in San Bernardino? The guy was married, right? The American citizen that we assassinated, Anwar al-Awlaki, because he was associated with terrorism or was advocating terrorism, or for whatever the reason that we supposedly used to assassinate him. We also happened to kill both two of his children, I believe, but certainly his son, and I think subsequently a daughter.
Yes, that was in the Trump raid. Also, there are prominent. There are women terrorists as well, some of whom are mothers.
There you go.
A whole specific ISIS
Weird
unit.
that she's being evasive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Dana Loesch is a terrorist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you're asked if you're a terrorist, why say I'm a mom and a kid? Like, that's
Sam
like saying,
ask me if I'm a terrorist.
Are you a terrorist?
Well, I certainly podcast.
I do yoga.
Well, wait a second.
I do yoga.
I have two cats.
I do yoga.
It's really
right.
sort of. It's like,
I'm saying two things about Dana Loesch. One, it's weird how she's answering that question, and two, she's a horrible person, regardless of what she is.
Right. All right. Well, let's let her. Maybe she ultimately
Might
says,
clarify.
"No, I'm not a terrorist." That's just a weird thing to say. I'm a mom and I have kids. That's like saying, "Are you a terrorist?" Hey, I have two hands. Okay.
I mean, I'm a mom. I have kids. I mean, we're dealing with homework issues late last night. I mean, maybe making my kids get all their homework done makes me some kind of terrorist. I can't take seriously anyone who says that they're coming to this conversation. I cannot take their claims of good faith genuinely or seriously at all when they decide to insult and smear millions of law-abiding Americans. And one of the things I'm asking for parents who are NRA members or law-abiding gun owners to do is they can just shoot a quick video, upload a video on social media using the hashtag NRA parents to explain why they carry and why they're not terrorists. Because I'm tired of people questioning mothers and fathers and saying that they love their firearms more than they love their children. One of the reasons that I have a firearm is to protect my family, is to protect my kids. I mean, honestly, guys, let's be real. In my mind, I'm like 7 foot tall, 400 pounds, right? But in reality, I'm 5'6" and I weigh $125. I'm going to be easily overpowered. I want to be able to defend my family, and I'm not going to be shamed for it.
Wait a second. What's the scenario when she's going to get overpowered? Like, violent crime in this country, and particularly if you are someone like Dana Loesch, who I've got to guess is making deep into the six figures as a representative for the NRA. Statistically speaking, the chances of her being attacked in some type of home invasion, and I imagine she lives in a pretty nice area as they're doing homework. God bless. I have no problem with that, but I'm just saying, she could be overpowered. That's right. Also, a plane could land on your house, and I don't see you building a cement dome around it, but all right, continue.
overpowered. I want to be able to defend my family, and I'm not going to be shamed for it. I'm not going to be shamed for it by the Connecticut governor or anyone else that wants to smear me or anyone as terrorists because we disagree and with him, and we have a different way of protecting our families.
But you're not against universal background checks, though, right?
Like the ones that failed in California or the ones that have failed in Colorado. I mean, I do believe that one of the things that we need to do is make sure that states are reporting fully and accurately, which they're not doing, all of their criminal convictions to the National Crime Information Center for NICS to check when someone purchases a firearm. Look, NRA and Wayne LaPierre have come out strong against this.
I mean, in other words, let's just review here. Are you a terrorist? I'm a mom. Are you against universal background checks? And then I'll just talk about something else as well. I mean, does this go anywhere else?
No, she just keeps talking about how the government's failing.
Doesn't ban Arabs from buying guns.
I got news for you. If you go on Fox and Friends as a conservative and you get stumped, you are so far out of the mainstream that you can't even see the mainstream. I don't care how many kids you have or how much homework you're doing. The fact of the matter is, if that dude on Fox and Friends can stump you with a question that he thinks is a softball, let's just take back that moment where she's just like, oh, Jesus. Are we right here?
And I weigh $125. I'm going to be easily overpowered. I want to be able to defend my family, and I'm not going to be shamed for it. I'm not going to be shamed for it by the Connecticut governor or anyone else that wants to smear me or anyone as terrorists because we disagree and with him, and we have a different way of protecting our families.
But you're not against universal background checks, though, right?
Like the ones that failed in California,
there you go.
Or the ones that...
And let me just say this one other thing, too, because I'm not being a lookist or judgmental. I'm just saying that if you're going to get Botox, please, only professionals. You and I say this as someone who has relatives who are involved in that business. You need to use professionals because sometimes, you know, I'm not against it.
Welcome
I'm
to
looking
the
forward to it.
Botox.
Maybe that's part of her plan, to have to react neutrally and show no emotion in the face of these questions.
that's pretty good. Boom. She's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And way to humble brag about your weight, by the way, Dana.
Right. Can I just put out a request? Maybe we could do it. I would really like that section of like, you want to call me a terrorist? If somebody could dub that over an old Bin Laden tape, I think that could be really funny.
Hey, Bin Laden, how many kids did he have?
I would say first.
And a lot of them went to very good schools.
First of all, first and foremost, I'm a father. I'm also a very religious man. So look, if the United States government, George Bush, wants to call me a terrorist, you know what? That's their business. Maybe I'll call them an infidel. Maybe.